Hi everyone, welcome to Uniquely Me with Simone Stewart. It's a place where I would like to say our normal thing is women come and share their story of trauma and struggles. But the truth is, we all have a story. On another note, guys, someone told me some time ago that this program, Uniquely Me with Simone Stewart, that it's going to go global, that I would be recording in foreign countries. Well, guys, this particular story is being recorded in Delaware. And as you can see, I have a young man here beside me. His name is Kyeano Jones, and I hope I got that one correct. Did I, sir?
That was really, really close. Kyeano Jones. At least it was good.
Awesome. Well, welcome to Uniquely Me with Simone
Sir,
Stewart, sir.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. Well, guys, let me just tell you a little bit. So, of course, I am on vacation, and I ran into his mom, and then him, and he told me he has heard so much about me. Now, sir, on camera, let's put him on the spot. What do you know about me?
So I read a lot of lovely stuff, but I'm not the one that to speak on the stuff that I've heard. But along the way, I've heard you're a very intelligent person, which is evident. A very hard-working person, which is also evident. So a lot is there that is known that I wouldn't use to say.
That's the same thing he said to me. And somehow I was hoping I could put him in a corner and get some more out of it. But of course, this episode is really not about me. It's about your story, sir. What you have been through. I was just so inspired just listening to you, what you have been through, the struggles you had to go through, and where you are now as a soccer coach. Is that it?
That's it.
But we soon get to it. But I want to first hear, who are you? Where are you from?
So first thing first, I'm Kyeano Jones. Straight up of Kingston, Jamaica. I was born and raised in Tivoli Garden. It's a small community inside of Kingston. It's not the best community, but there's a lot of good people there that, you know, there were people before me in the sport that I chose, like soccer, football, as we call it, that were very inspirational, and it influenced me to join football.
I want to commend you on that, because the truth is, Kyeano, most times when we hear about Tivoli, it's usually something negative.
Right.
When we hear about the inner city overall in Jamaica, it's always negative. You don't necessarily hear of persons influencing persons positively.
Right.
But here it is, you are saying that there were persons in there who influenced you to know, aspiring to what you are now, what you've now achieved.
Right.
We'll talk a little bit more about that, but your mom seemed to have played a very important role in your life. As a matter of fact, she was giving us the joke last night that between herself and her mom, your grandmother, gave you your name.
Yes, yes.
But tell us the story behind your name if you can.
So, apparently my mother, she was a big Keanu Reeves fan. That's the actor who played the role in The Matrix. Right now, he played in John Wick. So she really liked the name, and my grandma, she liked the name also. So they came up with their own unique spelling of the name.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so that's how Kyeano came about.
Kyeano, okay. Kyeano Jones. So Kyeano, when you came to, I don't know how you came to the United States, but when you came, there seemed to have been a downturn in how, or things didn't go according to how you hoped that they would have gone.
Right.
Tell us a little as it relates to what really happened. You know, I don't know, however much you can tell us, what really happened.
So to start from how I got here through a football scholarship after I finished playing Money Cup for St. George's College in Kingston, Jamaica. I was first awarded a scholarship for a junior college in New York called ASA College. So the plan was to do 2 years in junior college, then 2 years in a 4-year school, and that would earn me a bachelor's degree. But unfortunately, that's not how it went. I ended up doing like 5 years at the school there, at the 4-year school. So my 4-year degree, I ended up taking 7 years to complete it.
Wow.
There was a lot of like ups and downs. I had to take semesters off to, stable myself financially. I had a lot of like family issues that, you know, I never understood at the time. I was going through a lot of like therapy, with, like, you know, therapists on campus to, you know, let me understand like how to deal with the emotions and the missing pieces of the support that, you know, the regular kids supposed to have in school. So just to keep it brief, I wasn't focused on the educational side of stuff when I was in college until the last years.
Wow. And when I'm happy we're going there, because you see, the thing is, we're in the time where, for instance, world championships are going on.
Right.
And with the advent of Olympics and the Usain Bolts and the Shelley-Ann Fraser and the Shericka Jackson and stuff, a lot of our children coming up are aspiring to be athletes.
Right.
In whichever sport. They are looking for scholarships and that kind of thing to go overseas. And somehow you get the feeling that once you get the scholarship and you get on a plane and you're in this foreign country, that the world is made, the sky's lined with gold, and nothing goes wrong. And so here it is that you are saying, you're sharing with us that that's really not the case.
That's totally not the case. If you think that's the case, that's when it actually goes wrong.
Wow.
Yeah.
What were some of the things you would say for you were missing that had they been there, you would have been able to accomplish the goals that you had initially?
Right. If there was an actual plan that, you know, I wanted to follow, that I believe that could have, you know, landed me to my goal a little bit quicker. But because when I just came to university, all I had in mind was just to graduate school with probably a business degree and go professional in football.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the case because, again, I wasn't really focused because of I never had much support in terms of like financially, because I was an international student.
Yeah.
I never had my papers at the time, so I wasn't able to get a proper job. So stuff like that, you know, it shifted my focus.
Yeah.
Don't want to use it as an excuse, but those are just, you know, obstacles that I had to, you know, overcome to like get the goals that I needed.
How did you overcome? Because obviously you have.
So how I overcome is because going back to my mother, she was there from the start and she never left once. And just to see the work she have put in for me over the years.
Yeah.
And not only her, there's other family who helped along the way, but to see that my mother, she's voting for me so much, and to see that she's standing by my side even when it's getting tough, even when my head is down, she's still there. Say, Kyeano, I know you're feeling down right now, but it's going to happen if you still keep going. Just seeing her face, hearing her voice, it keeps me motivated. So
awesome.
She played a very key role.
Awesome. So there's a need for family support.
100%.
But there is also the need to the financial support. You mentioned something earlier about therapy. What kind of therapy was it that you got, and how did that therapy, along with the support from your mom, push you along?
So with the therapy, it let me understood like the missing pieces that I never had growing up as a kid. Because when I was in Jamaica, I grew up in a house basically by myself. Because my dad wasn't really there. He's in America. He was supportive to a certain extent. And my mother, she had to work across the country. So I know you're familiar with Jamaica. I was living in Kingston while my mother, she was working at Montego Bay. So she had to come up every fortnight to come, you know, give me money, stuff like that, make sure everything is all right. Then she goes back home. But for me, that was normal to grow up in a house by myself.
Wow.
So when I'm in the colleges, in the university right now, and I'm going you know, going through stuff with my dad. My mom is not there. I don't have any family members close that I have relationship with. So I never understood the feelings the emotions that I was having. So going through therapy, it made me understood my emotions, understood what was missing before, understood how strong I really am.
Ah, wow. That's so good. And I'm happy that, you know, we don't hear men talking about therapy.
Right.
Because we're from Jamaica.
Right,
so you hear them tell you from your small, big man the ball,
right.
boys don't cry,
That's
and that kind of thing. And if you cry, you are whatever names they call it, and that kind of thing. But you realized that if you are going to make it, you're gonna need all the support you can get. And obviously you got that support, as you have shared. And now you've been able, yes, it took you a while to finish the actual, what you call it now, set semesters. It took what, an extra year or two?
Extra 2 years.
Extra 2 years, but you made it. And so you graduated. What is it that you graduated with?
So I graduated with a business administration / marketing degree.
Awesome. Wow. You need to get a clap for that.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I want to go back to something. How important is it that, yes, you've gotten a scholarship for a sport, to come and play a sport, but education is also important. And I really want to dig into this a little bit, because again, when I was going high school, I went to Herbert Morrison Technical High, and then we used to have the Costa Cup and stuff.
Nice.
And so I remember most of the guys, they didn't come classes. They were always in the PE room, and they did everything as it relates to preparing themselves physically to play football, but they were not so keen on their education. How important is it to have an education along with whatever sport or skill or whatever else you want to pursue? How important is it to have an education?
I would say the education is just as important as the sport, because even if you are that talented enough and you work hard enough where you don't even need school, if you're going the professional way, there's gonna be disadvantage for you for not having that education. So let's say you're getting a contract where you're playing for a team and they're paying you money to play for the team. If you're not educationally sound, if you don't have that knowledge of how business work, you might sign away your life basically. You might be working for pennies rather than working for what you're really worth. So I would say investing in your education is just as important as in football. If you're in college and you're not, like for right now, I'm a coach in the college area. For kids, a lot of kids send me emails saying they want to come to the school, but I see in the email they involve videos also. Something I did when I was younger to get that scholarship. I had to send videos to coaches and stuff like that. But when I watch a video and I see a really talented kid, then I ask them how is their GPA. That's when the conversation gets like thinner, because their GPA is not so good, and if you don't have a certain GPA, no matter how talented you are, you cannot get into the school.
Wow.
So education plays a very key role.
Important role. Awesome. So there's a child watching you back in Jamaica, or even here in the US, watching you and listen to your story as it relates to how you have overcome. But not just how you've overcome, but how you pursued life. And they want to know, what are the steps to pursuing, they're good at something, they are kind of doing well in school, but they know that underneath there is this skill, there's this gift that they have, but they don't know how to move forward. I don't know if you want to first outline what were some of the things you did, because last night as you were sharing, you know, that they were coach upon coach that you were speaking to, you were writing to, you were doing this every moment that you got, you were writing. What are some of the steps that they can take? Or share some of what you actually did and how it worked for you, and what are some of the steps they could take?
So first thing first, just to go back a little bit where you said, if there's a kid that thinks he have something inside of him that's worth, you know, showing to the world, you really do have that thing inside of you.
Wow.
And you just have to nurture that gift, and it will come to evidence. It will come to present, I should say. So the steps I've taken, I work really hard on my craft. I understand that there is tremendous amount of competition. I understand that it doesn't only take talent, you have to do the extra work, which is I've created a video. I've researched the schools in America that I wanted to go. Went on their website. I looked for players that are senior players. Senior players is the last, like, last grade for college. That means they might leave next year. So when I see there's a senior player in my position for a school, I would send an email to the coach and let them know, coach, I'm able to play this position. I realize you have a player that's leaving the school in this position. Hopefully I could be that backup or, that replacement for that player. Then if the coach responds to me, then the conversation goes on. But it wasn't a case where every email I sent, I get a response. I sent almost 1,000 emails, or if not more, because I sent Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, JUCO, which is junior college, send all those coaches, and I should say probably like 5 coaches reach back to me out of the thousands.
Wow.
So I would, in that journey, I would just advise any player, do not get discouraged if they don't get the first choice that they want, because the choice that you do get, that's just a stepping stone for you to get to the direction you want to go.
Yeah. Wow. 1,000 applications and only 5 responding.
Only 5 respond.
Wow. And out of that 5, one took you. Wow. And that says to me, Kyeano, do not give up.
Do not. You got to have the will to go.
Yeah.
Even when you see like obstacles.
Yeah. Keep pushing. So you are now, and I think that's what really triggered it for me. You are now coaching.
Yeah.
And you are taking advantage of sharing with young children,
right,
and coaching them. And so you are now sitting on stages, or standing on stages to talk to these young people.
Right.
I remember you sharing how it felt,
right.
But I want you to reenact what it felt like for you, standing on that stage and talking to a room full of children and knowing that that was you.
Right. So to go back to that moment, when I was sitting on the stage and I see the hundreds of kids in front of me, at first it was a bit intimidating, but once I started to explain the steps that I've taken, the journey that I've went through, only thing I could see is just myself looking at me, because I was in that same position. I was a high school kid trying to come to college, also wondering if I have what it takes to come to college, wondering if I'm good enough to even be on a team, nervous because nervous for the opportunity that lies in front of me. So when I was just explaining to them that the same thing I just tell you, I sent about 1,000 emails to college coaches, only got a response from 5, only got accepted by 1. It just felt surreal, and it brought me back to just explain to them that do not get discouraged. To explain, the event, it was a showcase for talent.
Right.
Pure high school kids, showcase in front of like 50 to 100 coaches.
Right.
And it was like 200 to 500 kids in the event.
Yeah.
And my thing was to let them know that if they don't get an opportunity from one of these coaches, they shouldn't stop. They should still reach out to other schools, still play, still nurture their talent, still believe that they still have that thing that they think they got inside of them. They still got that inside of them to show.
We're about to wrap up. And you are now, apart from the fact that you are now a motivational speaker, you're a coach, and I know, what are some of the things you now do?
Nice. So right now, I'm a coach at a Division 2 college in New Jersey, Bloomfield College, and also a coach at the New York Red Bulls. The New York Red Bulls is a great organization, and I coach the U11, the U12s, and I also do like private and group training for my own company I created just a few weeks ago, First 11.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've got a pretty busy schedule.
Awesome, man. Let me tell you something. Guys, if you are listening, you're listening to a young man who used to have to practically be on his own in Tivoli in Jamaica. He shared that he has written, he applied maybe about, not maybe about, a 1,000 times to different coaches here in the US. And of that, only 5 responded and 1 took him as in terms of a scholarship and helping to nurture that gift within him. He has shared, of course, his struggles with school and having to go through therapy and that kind of thing to regain his composure. Now this young man is so composed. He's a motivational speaker. He's a coach for various clubs here in the US. And of course, he has started his own company. Could you ask for more? Kyeano, what is it that motivates you?
Well, as I said before, my mother, she's a big factor in my motivation. But the will just to get better and just to see my full potential. Because I heard it a lot of times that I got a lot of potential in different areas of my life. So just to see that full potential, it really motivates me just to see that.
Awesome, awesome.
And I would encourage any kid out there to don't just get motivated by only outside sources, but also be motivated to get better by the day, because you can get better. There's always an extra step, an extra level for you out there. So just to get better, that's my thing.
I think that's an excellent note to end with, that you can get better. And I'll say to you, sir, that you have proven that it gets better.
You're welcome.
It literally gets better
Once you keep going.
Yeah. And so I want to encourage you here on camera to keep going. I want you to keep us posted with what you are doing, how you are expanding.
I'd love to do that.
Yeah. And if you are looking, I mean, if persons are looking for a coach, I know parents might be watching here in the US, they want to get their child all started with training and that kind of thing. Can they reach out to you?
Yes, they could reach out to me on Instagram, Kyeano_Jones03, and also at First11_.
First11.
Yeah, _ soccer training.
How do we spell Kyeano?
Kyeano, it's spelled Kyeano.
Okay.
_Jones.
Right. 03.
03.
Okay. What does Kyeano mean, by the way?
Kyeano? It's, as I said before, our mother, she loved Keanu Reeves. And they just came up with the spelling. And, you know, me, I have to run along because that's they named me. So that's what basically. Hopefully I could put a meaning to it one day.
So I'm going to ask you guys, if you're watching, look for that for me, Kyeano. What does it mean? And type it in the comment box. We'll read it and we will see. If all of them come back the same, then we know that's what it's going to be. But something tells me it means, I don't know, I'm just guessing. It means push on, keep going, be determined, don't give up. I'm just saying, you know, we don't quit, never a quitter. But let me say thank you so much for joining me on this and to share your story in a nutshell. And I'm really looking forward to several other stations here in the US finding you, becoming interested in your story and take it to the big screen, because I think it's stories like these that needs to get out. We have so many things happening with our children that, especially with COVID and all the different things, the world has changed, but we still want our children to know that they can make it, and more so our boys, that they can make it. Yes, you might be in a foreign land, but it's still very much possible that you can thrive, you can push, you can survive, and you can make it, even as you did. So thanks again so much, sir.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Well, there you have it, guys. I guess there's never a rest from vacation, huh? But you just heard the story of Kyeano Jones sharing his trauma and struggles of leaving Jamaica, having grown up in Tivoli, and coming to the US on a scholarship. But it wasn't all hunky-dory, as we'll say. He had to fight, he had to push, he had to do therapy. And today, even though it took him longer than planned. He now has an education. He now has a coaching license and stuff,
yes.
and he also has a business. And so guys, if you're looking for someone to assist you getting your child started, he's also a motivational speaker. Book him, reach out to him, and I'll put all his contact details in the comment box. And of course guys, let me know how much you're enjoying this program. And I have been sharing, if you have a story, and I do believe you do, reach out to me 1-876-856-5769, or leave it in the comment box, and of course I'll reach out to you. Until next time guys, with another inspiring, unique story. Uniquely me is definitely uniquely you. Take care. See you next week.